My name's Aria Blarg, and I'm here today to check out Firefall. And I have with me...
David Williams.
David Williams.
I'm the lead class designer here at Firefall. Yes.
How long have you been working here?
I've actually been working on Firefall for quite a while, since about 2006.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because Firefall has been in development for quite
a long time. Yes, absolutely. This is an idea. Our founder Mark Kern was the team lead on World of Warcraft, and he knew he wanted to. The next thing he wanted to do was take those MMO ideas that taught RPG players how much fun it is to play their game in the middle of a community rather than by yourself, and take those same ideas to a shooter, to the shooter community.
And I know that you guys you're designing it. It's an MMO FPS, correct?
Well, we actually think of it first and foremost as a shooter. It does have MMO elements, absolutely. We've got a big open world. We've got armies that are like guilds. We've got character progression. We have all of those we have many of those sort of pieces of what everyone thinks of when they think of MMO. But this is a skill-based game. This is an action speed game where you're running around and you have to put the crosshairs on the bad guy's head and pull the trigger. You don't just hit tab and select a target and then press number keys to make them go away. This is very much a skill-based game, action-based gameplay.
So when you say skills, do you need a lot of mental skills, do you feel like, to be able to control it?
Absolutely.
Absolutely?
Yeah, absolutely. There's obviously Twitch skill. You're going to have that in any shooter. We're both first and third person, very much so. There's also a lot of tactical decisions you're going to be making on a moment-to-moment basis. So obviously a lot of intellectual skill as well.
And I know that this project's been going on for quite some time because I know you guys really want to make this a great thing, and you guys have really been involved with the community. I also heard about I believe you guys did a protest with E3.
Yeah.
Is that okay to talk about?
Yeah, absolutely. As a company, we're not the biggest fans of the corporations, perhaps like the ESA, who supported SOPA and PIPA. We're emphatically opposed to it. We believe very strongly in net neutrality, and so we pulled out of E3 completely.
Yeah. And you guys used the money instead. I believe
we formed the League for Gamers, LFG, and intended to really support gamers, support net neutrality, and make sure to keep free internet for all. So
I think that's wonderful that you guys did that, and you guys are very public about it and everything, because that's a big thing to step out of something like E3.
Absolutely.
And so I just want to say I really admire you guys for that.
Appreciate that.
So tell me a little bit more about some of the skilled systems and everything in the game. What do you want players to look most forward towards?
Well, Firefall is a class-based game, right? So there's 5 different classes, and each of the classes has their own special weapons, their own special abilities.
Can I hear about the class? Is there wait, okay.
Okay.
I'm excited.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
No,
tell me about the classes. Tell me.
In order?
Yes, because I want to pick mine. I want to pick mine.
Or backwards alphabetically? I can't do it. We'll start with the Assault.
Okay.
It's easy enough. The Assault is our mobile infantry. He's got a big old plasma cannon that he can use to rain down, plasma death on his enemies. He's also got a lot of mobility built into his ability system. So he's got like an afterburner that lets him launch across the map. Everybody's got the jump jets, but he gets to use them for a real extra effect. He's got an ability called Cannonball where he can spin across the map. And then he's got a crater ability where if he's nice and high, he hits his crater and he drops straight down into the ground. Crater. He turns himself into a crater. And he slams himself into the ground and doing a big wide AoE damage. And it does more damage the higher you are when you trigger the abilities.
So you have to play.
So you use your jump jet. Exactly. You use your jump jets to get nice and high and then crater down on top of everybody.
Oh, that sounds like such a cool mode. Okay,
it's really hard to use in PvP, but when you pull it off, nothing cooler in our game right now. So that's the Assault. We've got what used to be called the Medic class is now called the Biotech, right? The Medic he was too much of a pure healer, and we were basing all of our PvP gameplay around this healing gun that he had that was just constantly healing all of his teammates. And so we got rid of it completely, and we renamed him the Biotech. And now he's got a needler gun that he uses to leech health from his enemies.
Does he look really cool? Because with a name like Biotech,
he really does. He's got these big gnarly vials on his backpack that fill up with all the nanites that he's going to be using to both.
The nanites?
Nanites.
Is that a medical term?
No. It's actually a scientific, technical term.
Oh, really?
Nanites are tiny little robots that at a microscopic level. They're called nanites, and So he can use them to both heal his teammates and repair their battle frame, or poison the bad guys. So he's got these toxin abilities that he can use to create poisonous clouds as he runs, poison his enemies, that sort of thing.
Sounds like a good guy to have on your side.
Very much so.
Yeah.
I agree. We also have an engineer. He's able to place turrets and force fields and mines and traps. He also has EMP grenades that he can use to hit his enemies and knock out their jump jets for 4 or 5 seconds. And they're, with a game that's as mobile as Firefall, if you're stuck on the ground for 4 or 5 seconds, that's almost a death sentence.
Now, do you need to study engineering in order to be the engineer?
Because all of those capabilities come from the battle frame that you wear. And in fact, you don't need to make multiple characters to play all the classes in Firefall. You only need to make one character, and you can play all the classes in Firefall. You get the classes all come from the battle frame that you wear. And so when you go to a battle frame station, you can switch to any battle frame you've built in your garage. So you can just build all the different battle frames in your garage, switch from class to class pretty much on the fly whenever you want to. Now, out in the open world, you've got to go back to town to do that. But if you're in a PvP match, all the spawn rooms have a battle frame station, so you can swap out. Maybe you even want 2 different versions of your assault class, right? You have one for mobility and one for big splash damage. And so, or with that biotech, maybe you got one that's pure support, and then you got one that's very much about poisons. So you can switch between them on the fly as the tactics demand. Fourth class would be the recon. Oh yeah, that's 3.
I gotta tell you, so far,
yes,
my favorite, although that biotech sounds pretty cool,
yes,
with the nanomites and all that, so far, I still love the assault, because I love explosions.
The assault is usually the first one that most people start with. He's really easy to get into, and he's got that big plasma cannon.
I'm way too simple. I'm I want to go in and just smash something.
Just blow shit
up. But
I
want to see if any of these other classes are going to make me want something other than the assault.
Fair enough. 2 more that we're going to talk about. One is the Recon. He's our sniper class. He's got a lot of long-range abilities, including cryo bullets that he can use to freeze and slow down his enemies. He can set traps at long distances, that sort of thing. And he can also add enemies to your team's SIN network, which is the shared intelligence network, so you can spot where the enemies are between each other. And then lastly, we've got the Dreadnought. And the Dreadnought is our big heavy weapons guy. Dreadnought.
I like anything with the word "not" in its name.
Sure.
Have you ever heard it? Well, I don't know if you know this. Cosmonaut, the band, the Phenomenauts.
I like it.
Our follower is actually called Blarg Knots.
Very nice.
Very much. Astronauts are pretty cool.
Clearly.
Exactly. So what was that knot?
Well, it's the Dreadnought.
The Dreadnought.
Exactly.
Okay,
and Dreadnought's named after a Civil War ship. But basically, the Dreadnought is our big heavy weapons guy. He's got a lot of health. He's got abilities that keep him alive, and he's got a big honking heavy machine gun that he carries around. It's got to spin up, but once it gets going, it just shreds anything in front of him. So that's our Dreadnought class. Shred, as in rip to pieces.
I want to see this.
Into tiny little pieces.
I want to see what that would look like.
Well, I would like to show you.
Well, you really should. Okay, I want to see the Dreadnought. Okay, we got one more. One more. Okay.
What? No, those are our 5 classes.
Oh, wait,
those are 5.
I forgot to count.
Assault, Dreadnought, Biotech, Recon, Engineer.
My favorite is the Assault, except the shredding. I have to see the shredding.
So the shredding is good, but otherwise you like the Assault. Got it.
I'm way too simple. It's horrible.
It's straightforward.
Is there anything else you want to tell us about the game before we check it out?
Well, like I said, it's got a big open world, lots of cooperative gameplay in the open world. So there's missions and there's dynamic events that are happening, and you're going to gather resources and take them back to town, and you're going to use those resources to advance your tech tree and build new gear for your battle frame so that you have more capabilities and new abilities and better guns and upgrades to your jump jets and your servos so you can run faster and all those things so that you go out and do it again. So that all is happening in the open world, but we also have competitive esports style PvP maps from 5-on-5 up to 15-on-15, and our tech can support hundreds at a time, but so far those maps haven't been very fun. It's much more fun usually when you're nice and close and intimate with the other guy. So most of our esports maps right now at least are in the 5v5, because that's really sort of the sweet spot for esports. And so we got that whole PvP side of the game as well as the big PvE side of the game. So we really
very PvP oriented.
There is quite a bit of PvP in our game.
Yes.
But my girlfriend, for example, only plays on the PvE side. She doesn't want to play on the PvP side at all, and that's fine, right? She can do all the advancement, all the character advancement, all the tech tree, all that stuff, just play one side of the game. We don't require that you play both sides of the game at all.
I want to make people angry when I play it.
Well, that's better on the PvP side.
Yeah, that's what I want.
There you go.
That's what I want.
There's some trolling you can do on the PvE side.
I love trolling. Let's do it.
I'm shocked.
No, I love trolling.
Okay.
And I have one question that probably everybody's asking you, and probably been asking you guys for years.
Please.
When is it going to be released?
Well, that's the thing, is we're a free-to-play game. We don't actually have to do a release date. We're just going to keep adding people to the beta, and then we add some more features. And then we add some more people and add some more features, and people and features and people and features. And at some point, everyone who wants to be playing Firefall will be playing Firefall. And we'll probably at that point just drop the beta tag because it won't make any sense anymore. But we're not going to really have that, big release day where all the servers crash. Because that's really not fun for anyone. We just keep adding people, more and more people over time. We are saying that we want, by the end of this year, for anyone who wants to play Firefall, playing Firefall. So if you want to call that our release date, that's sort of the closest thing we're going to get, probably.
That's actually done very differently than I've seen from a lot of different gaming companies. You have the beta for so long.
It's a real advantage of the free-to-play model is that you can do that sort of thing. We don't have to have the big release date where we grab $60 from everybody and then we don't really care about them anymore, right? We're trying to build a service. We're trying to build a community with our fans, and we go to them. Lots of these changes that we made over the last couple of months were things our players have been asking us for, and we just kind of sucked it up and did it all in one big milestone. So.
Can I say one thing?
Yeah.
Fist bump for free-to-play.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Now let's see this game.
Okay.
Let's see this game.
All right. So I'm going to jump on here. This is a glider pad.
Oh,
let me fly
what would you call that? Is that he's using for his wings?
These are glider wings. There are glider